Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyani. The title of today's video is Anything is Possible in South Africa. What is that supposed to mean, you might be wondering. Let us look at the Thabo Bester matter. Anything is possible in South Africa. How was it possible that a high-profile prisoner serving a life sentence in a correctional facility was able just to walk out? How was that possible? How was it also possible that a corpse could have been smuggled into prison, paraded as Thabo Bester, or masqueraded as Thabo Bester, such that Thabo Bester's death is then faked in jail, and Thabo Bester walks out a free man? What is wrong with our systems? Let us also look at it from this angle. The Mangaung facility, correctional facility, was outsourced to a private security company. I'll look at this, this outsourcing is quite disturbing for me. So we had this facility outsourced to this private company. Why would the Department of Correctional Services employ correctional services staff trained in the handling of offenders at taxpayers' expense, maintain those people in their jobs, and outsource the very work for which they're employed to a private security company to manage the Mangaung Correctional Facility? Look at it this way. There is double jeopardy here for the South African taxpayer. The taxpayer has to fork out the salaries of the correctional services officials for managing that institution or managing it, remotely, if one can put it that way. Additional to that, the taxpayer has to foot the bill of the cost of outsourcing a private security company to run this very facility. Once all this has been put in place, you then imagine that, the systems have been reviewed, security has been tightened around that facility. You'd expect some improvement in the way the facility is managed, given also the cost factor of outsourcing a private security company. But no sooner has this happened than, boom, Thabo Bester escapes. Anything is possible in South Africa. So Thabo Bester escapes. He's on the run for well over a year. Nobody picks up this. Nobody. The private security company does not pick it up. The Department of Correctional Services does not pick it up. Until Thabo Bester is seen by somebody on social media, on social media, yes, in some video clip or something like that, on social media is spotted, living the high life. Oh, just what is going on here? That's what is going on. This is why I'm saying the theme of this morning's, I'm giving you a thought for the day. Yesterday you had that gentleman, you got his name, Richard Seed, who categorically maintains that Thabo Bester was never arrested in Tanzania. Richard Seed maintains that he was arrested in South Africa. It is quite a convoluted and long story. Because the narrative that we have, the only narrative, let me put it that way again, is that he was arrested in Tanzania. That just you ponder this. Everything is possible in South Africa. Just you ponder this. The narrative fine goes, he was arrested in Tanzania. But the curious thing is, why didn't this particular incident, the arrest of, or whatever it is, the deportation, or whatever you call it, or the abduction of Nandi Pamaguduman and Thabo Bester from, or the extradition, as some would rather have it. Why did you go by the court in Tanzania? Because, ordinarily, in processes of this nature, the requesting state, South Africa being the requesting state, should have indicated to the requested state in Tanzania that there are some people that we are interested in. The Tanzanian authorities would have made the necessary arrests, and these people would then appear in court and defend through the legal system of Tanzania, the courts of Tanzania, challenge their repatriation back to South Africa. That is the normal course that any extradition will take. What I'm saying this morning, anything is possible in South Africa. We saw that repatriation, I'll call it a repatriation, for want of a better word. I don't really know what to call it. That midnight repatriation, we saw aeroplanes flashing in the middle of the night as they landed in Tanzania, and these people were, according to that narrative, brought back. So a lot of things are just not right. The ease with which things happen. This correctional facility has been, fingered by the public protector. In the next episode, I'm looking into the details of what the public protector has to say about the escape of Thabo Bester. But it says a lot about, the correctional service system. If people who are serving life sentences like Thabo Bester can simply just walk out of prison like that, it is an indictment on the system. But, like I'm saying, nothing is impossible in South Africa these days. We have seen a lot in so many other, situations. I always talk about the Meyu Ameta, so many things have happened there. So that when we see things like this in and around us these days, we simply just shrug them off and, tell ourselves that perhaps this is the way things are, and this is the way we must expect things to be, because the reality of it is, this is what is happening around us. So this gentleman, Richard Reed, who told me that, Thabo Bester had not been arrested in Tanzania, I still have to engage him on this channel. get to the bottom and unravel. He's got quite a long and complicated story to tell. It needs quite a series of episodes to unravel so that we can make sense of how it is that we have been told that Thabo Bester and Nandi Pamagudumana were repatriated from Tanzania, extradited, if you like, back to South Africa. And here comes Richard Reed and says, no, it never happened. Actually, the arrest was undertaken on a property belonging to his father, not in Tanzania. I'm looking with a keen sense of interest. The outcome of the application that Nandipa Maguduman has launched in the Supreme Court of Appeal. Because in that appeal she's saying my being brought back to South Africa was illegal and so on and so forth. Well, that is a story for another day. So having said that, these are some of the thoughts that I wanted to share with you this morning or today. In the next episode, I'm getting into what the public protectors will tell us about the Bester case. And I'll be getting into the details of that tomorrow. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. And please continue to watch subsequent videos. The subscriptions are coming also in a very satisfactory manner. I'm very encouraged and motivated by that. And please have a nice day.